Keanu Reeves. Wow. Keanu Reeves. Do you know, I really respect this iconic Hollywood actor. Let's talk about him right now. An actor that has been in the limelight for decades and yet continues to remain grounded, respected by his fans, and stays in the spotlight without drama. Keanu Reeves, he is such a respected Hollywood icon. Amazing. He's very generous, and he really knows how to act. You have to have been sleeping under a rock, literally, if you don't know who Keanu Reeves is. The Matrix is one of the hugest movies in movie history. And of course, you don't want to forget Speed. Oh my gosh, that was so great with his co-star Sandra Bullock. And then of course, Point Break and John Wick. These are four major films that is so notable in our generation of movies. He's an amazing guy. Do you know that this guy actually took a subway as well while he was a mega superstar? And as he's on the subway, just chilling, no one even really is looking. They're just like, he looks very familiar. Who is this guy? Do I know him from somewhere? But a woman had no seat. He got up from his seat on the subway and allowed her to sit down. That's like a double duty, very impressive thing. First of all, he's taking the subway. Second of all, he's not trying to, keep away from the stairs or trying to hide. He's like getting up and he's like, yo, I'm just like the rest of you guys. Yeah, my job is acting. But guess what? I'm a millionaire. But yeah, I'm still humble enough to get on the public transit with all you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be where I am. Just so humble. I love this guy. Now let's just get into some more facts about him. So you guys know The Matrix, right? Of course, you know The Matrix. Even if you haven't seen it before, you've heard about it. When The Matrix was finished being filmed, he got royalties, right? Every star, they'll get royalties, or they'll get a payment, if not royalties, or whatever is in their contract. He took some of his earnings and gave it back to the crew. So like the sound crew, lighting crew, people who are behind the scenes helping to make the movie as great as it is. And that movie was really great. And so a lot went into that movie. Not just him acting. It's not like lights, camera, action. You're walking down the street, say your lines. No, it is like a lot of technical work and a lot of hours on set. And he wanted to show his appreciation to the people behind the scenes that also helped to make that movie great. And I think it's so important when an actor can actually come out the gate and say, hey, I'm giving you recognition because if it wasn't for you, then I don't think I would have been as great, right? They helped to make that movie look awesome. And I bet you they were so excited about getting that money that they were probably like, whoa, what did I do to deserve this? I was just doing my job. And he didn't want any recognition for it. It's not like he was like, hey, can you bring the cameras over here? Let me pay them extra because I want everyone to see how much I appreciate them. He didn't do that. He did it undercover. He was just like, here, take some money. The movie was great. You did wonderful. You helped me look good. So, of course, you deserve to get paid as well. That's pretty amazing. And I think if we all pay it forward like that in society, then everyone will have a different outlook on life. I think sometimes just with the simplest things, holding the door open for someone at the grocery store that has groceries and they're leaving, putting your cart back into the cart area instead of just leaving it, right by the other cars. Taking the step to move a little bit forward in life is something that Keanu does very, very well. Now, how about the time when Keanu made one of his fans feel like an old friend? Yeah, let me tell you that story. So one day, Keanu, he's like eating at a restaurant, all alone in a restaurant, and a fan walks by, a student in university and college. And the fan looks at him and says, Keanu, oh my gosh, what's up? Very nice to meet you. Keanu smiles at him and then says the ultimate, would you like to come sit down with me and have a bite to eat? The fan was just like, oh my gosh. The fan hurriedly sat down and was like, yeah, of course. What an opportunity of the lifetime, right? So this young man, he sits down with Keanu. Now, what happens is they have a conversation about the young man. Keanu asks him, so what do you do with your life? Yeah, what are you studying in school? Oh yeah? Well, that's fabulous. They had a full entire meal together, which is pretty astonishing, right? And then after the meal, Keanu says to the guy, I'm going to pay for your dinner, obviously, but then wishes him well with his endeavors in life. Could you imagine? Now, this tells me so many things about his personality. It speaks volumes about his humbleness and that he really appreciates the people who put him where he is right now. That happened in 2001. Right? And you would think, oh, well, that was a long time ago. Well, here's a more recent one, 2019. And this story actually gives me goosebumps. Like, wow. Okay, so there's a guy, he's, down on his luck, going through really rough times in life. Mindset is completely negative. He decides that he's going to go to a Hollywood bar and he's just going to sit down and have a drink. He's going to drown himself and his sorrows into like a glass of real hard adult beverages. He just needed some time to think and cool his mind. Who walks in? Keanu. Keanu sits down, and is just chilling. But then this guy, his name is James, he's a huge fan of Keanu. And he doesn't even go over to him and say, hey, I'm a huge fan, blah, blah, blah. Instead, he respected him and his distance and just kind of looked over at him. Now they caught eyes. And Keanu had this intuitive instinct about him. He got up and he walked right over to the bar and he said to James, do you mind if I sit down and join you? James was like, no problem, man, go ahead. They ended up chit-chatting and they had a really good time. Some other fans actually cautiously approached Keanu and he invited them into the conversation as well. He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, well, we were just talking about this, that, and that, and what's your name? And blah, 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 At the end of the night, when it was time for him to get up and leave, he paid for James's drinks. And then he said to him, stay strong, man, stay strong. It changed James's mindset completely. It made him feel like, wow, you know what? This is the beginning of the new me. Could you imagine? Someone that you really adore, you respect. This is a guy that's like in movies with motorcycles and like, philosophy and all this like action with buses and everything. And he sits down and he's like the coolest dude ever, just shooting the breeze, not talking about himself and his great achievements and accomplishments. He's just wanting to get to the meat of the matter of the person that he's sitting with. Not once did he look at his cell phone. He was totally present and engaged in the conversation. So amazing. That speaks again volumes about someone's character. Because he was not trying to be more important than the average person. He was taking his time out to say thank you to somebody who he thought was just as cool as him. Now, when Keanu first started out, he wasn't this superhero action star when he first started. He was in like some funny movies and stuff like that. But he literally worked himself up through a good character. And he became favored by a lot of the Hollywood people. And I think this also gives a lot of insight into him and the way he grew. He climbed the ladder of success from movie to movie, adventure to adventure. And a lot of people, they think, okay, you get these people who are just born into a blockbuster and they become famous overnight. And it's like, whoa, you became famous overnight and now you're making all these millions of dollars and you're doing so well. That wasn't Keanu's type of rise to fame. He started out with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and also Parenthood. Great movies, don't get me wrong, but this was his start out. And then he evolved into a super action hero in Speed. That was, I believe, the moment that changed a lot in his life. That's when he went from Keanu Reeves to, whoa, Keanu Reeves. And he became like a household name. People started to really know about him because when he got into John Wick and he decided to do his own stunts, whoa, it became just so epic. People were like, yeah, you know what? He is good. He's not just a good actor and mysterious, but he puts his heart and his soul into his work. And it's not easy, ladies and gentlemen, to do stunts in Hollywood. They usually hire a body double in order to do the stunts for a lot of the actors. The reason why is because the stunts are difficult and they are dangerous. Another actor who does that is Tom Cruise. He does a lot of his own stunts. And the reason why they're doing this is not because they're adrenaline junkies, but because they know that they want to put themselves straight into that film. They want to morph into the character. And they want to become the character and get rid of the ego and act and not just make it about themselves. Now, we all have to agree how The Matrix revolutionized sci-fi movies. The trilogy itself has revolutionized as well. It has revolutionized and influenced a lot of movies. It's a touchstone film, in my opinion. Like, that is where you really get to see the dynamics of his personality. So the John Wick success, that series has taken Keanu's career to new heights, introducing him to a younger generation. The success of these films highlights his enduring appeal and ability to stay fresh in an ever-evolving film industry, which is very important because, when you can act like from when you are a very young person and then you can keep that momentum going, kind of like John Travolta. Oh my gosh, it really speaks to the person who you are. And I know I keep talking about character and it speaks volumes and I keep repeating myself, but that's because it's so important to drive that home to you guys. If you have children or if you are a teenager or if you're a person that's trying to change your personality because you know that right now, maybe your persona sucks. Maybe you are a person who's not kind enough or humble enough. Maybe you're trying to break into the acting industry and there's little tips that you need. Everything starts with character. Even if you are an action hero in your first movie ever, if your attitude sucks afterwards, like during the interview and the promotion stage, you're not going to get hired again. You might as well say bye-bye to that big paycheck. We really have to make sure that our character is what carries us through, because Hollywood is no different than anyone else at any other job. Some people think that acting is not a job, it's just luck. But it is a job. They have to remember their lines. They have to wake up early on set. Sometimes they're on set for hours out of a day, and they get moody as well. They're working with other people who may not be humble and may have their head in the clouds and think they're better than other people and have attitude. And not only that, sometimes they just want the movie to hurry up and end because they're sitting on set and it's like, cut, constantly. And it's like, oh my gosh, other actors forgetting their lines or not really acting as good, and oh my gosh. So the list goes on and on. So that's the reason why I keep speaking about personality, because it's not just about remembering your lines, getting on set and acting. It is getting rid of the ego. It is getting up in the morning. It is going to bed late at night. It is practice, practice, practice. And he has been able to do that and not be a fake about it, but also show the world who he is when he's not acting, and show that his true character is pretty amazing. Now, did you know that Keanu Reeves had a sister named Kim? He did. And his sister had leukemia. May she rest in peace. Well, he donated millions of dollars to cancer research in recognition of his sister Kim. And I mean, of course, we can't say we would be surprised, because he is the type of guy that does give a lot away. His time, his energy, his love. Money's just a mere example of what he really does. But to say that he did that in the name of his sister is just so adorable. You know, and I could only imagine how much he must miss his sister, because he's such a compassionate man. He must miss her voice. He must miss talking to her, seeing her. She must be a huge reflection in his daily mindset when he goes throughout his day living life. There's something else that he has done that a lot of people don't know either. Homelessness. Keanu has donated to homeless shelters. And again, we're not talking like a couple of thousand or hundreds of thousands. We're talking about millions of dollars. This man has gone and he has donated to homeless shelters because he knows for sure that people need to be warm, have a roof over their head, something to eat, even a blanket to hold and call their own. You know, it's not like he went downtown and got the cameras rolling and said, look at me, look what I'm doing. He did it quietly. And these things that he doesn't call cameras. He doesn't call the news station. He doesn't do it as a charity. He does it as a kindness. And that's what he does. He went and he donated millions to the homelessness and to the homeless shelters, and he just gives it without like looking for anything back. It's not like he goes and pulls out an ad in the New York Times or tries to get other actors to do it with him, which rightfully he could, because if he did get some type of organization together and said, hey everyone, you think you can donate a few million? This would be great. He would be able to get the millions from people, because a lot of people respect him, but he's not looking for money from other people. He's getting the money from his own pockets and he's giving it. And a lot of those homeless people, they're homeless. They're not watching his movies. They don't have TVs. They can't afford a ticket to go to the movies when he has a brand new movie out. So it's not like he's trying to gain new viewers or fans. He literally is just trying to bring comfort to people who are in discomfort. And that says a lot. In the Bible, and I'm not trying to preach, but in the Bible, it says, you who could not give me food, give me clothing, or give me a roof over my head, you get beside. Go over there. Those of you who did give to me, and Jesus said this, those of you who did give to me, you gave me food, you gave me clothing, and you gave me a roof over my head, get over there. And what did the people in the Bible say to Jesus? But Jesus, you never asked me for anything. Like, if you asked me for something, I would have given it to you. Jesus said, no, it's not me that needs to ask you. Your kindness should go beyond me. Your kindness is supposed to go to your neighbors, to the people outside, to the people who serve you. Always be kind. Even if you don't have anything to give, you still have a compliment that you can pay to somebody. If you are in a restaurant and you can't give a very much of a big tip, Explain to the server, hey, you know what? This is the tip that I got right now, but I do want to say to you that I hope someone else comes in and gives you a really good tip because, man, you're an awesome server and you deserve it. I send you peace and I send you blessings. You have prayers that you can give to people. You even just have a smile that you can give to people. And so when you really look at it, this is a man that's giving back and he's not looking for anything in return. Now, I think it's also important to note, because I'm talking about a lot of generosity in this video, things that he has done with his time and his money and his energy, but he's not, like, again, he's not looking for anything in return. He has just as much pressure as any other Hollywood mogul, any other Hollywood actor, any other A-lister, because he's one of the A-listers out there. And he has remained humble, respected, and his career just keeps on going and going and going. A lot of people love him just like they love Johnny Depp. There is a certain essence to Keanu that is real, and people really appreciate that. They love it. I mean, if no one is real and they meet you, they will say it. That person's only nice, you know, when they're on stage and when the camera's rolling. Behind the cameras and behind the scenes, they're a creep, they're a goof, they're mean, and people will call you out right away, immediately. And I mean, he has never been in the tabloids. You know, like never out at a bar getting drunk and, you know, fighting with people, pushing away the paparazzi and, you know, bad relationships, going after one woman to another and, you know, horrible substances. Like, whatever he does, he keeps it on the down low. He has a mystique about him that a lot of people can't figure out, because they expect someone in Hollywood to be like high profile, always bragging, always being very loud, the loudest one in the bunch. Ha 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 ha, you know, look at me, I'm so accomplished. But he's not. He goes into places, chills out, and leaves again. Very humble dude, and just cool max and relaxes. I'm sure he has a good time in life, and sometimes maybe he has been loud, maybe he has done certain things that just aren't publicized, but for the most part, 9 out of 10 times, this guy certainly knows how to keep calm, cool, and collected. So guys, I can actually say, and I think you guys would agree with me, he's not just an actor. He is a human being that enjoys his job, his career, and it goes far beyond the walls of Hollywood, the stars of Hollywood. It goes to your street, to your home, and to your heart. And I think we all have something to learn from his resilience and his humbleness and his loving nature and good, calm character. I think that he's a great role model for the younger generation today. And even just for us who are going through certain things in life, we look at him and we think, wow, he's humble. He takes the subway. He has lost a sister, so he has had some pain as well. He looks out for people that he works with on set. And not only that, he will go and have a meal with somebody who is just stopping by to say hello. And go and have a drink with somebody who's down and out, and he could sense it. And he picked their day up just by talking to them. I think we all have something to learn from a character like that. Let's all send some wonderful positive energy to Keanu, and let's send wonderful positive energy to each other. I think that's a beautiful thing to do, especially today in society with all of the negative that's going on around the world, with the wars and also with the corruption, the politics, and the sadness. Let's all take a moment right now and act like we have a rainbow coming out of our chest and sending it to the world. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please do me 2 favors before I let you go. First favor, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you as a friend on here. And also, make sure after you subscribe, you hit that like button. And so I know that you did enjoy the video, and also YouTube, because YouTube will start to suggest the video to other people, and then you're helping my channel grow. The other thing that I really want you to do is probably one of the most important things that you can do for yourself today. Be good to yourself. Speak kind words to yourself. Step outside your emotional sadness and look in the mirror and tell yourself, remind yourself how amazing you are, how far you have become, and don't give up. Because the more you do, the more you will get to where you are going. It may not feel like it right now, but eventually everything starts to come together. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blesses. I love you. My name is Sister Cerise, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Make today count.